Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear humanity, dear humanity, I say to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I've recorded this message. It's a message to all living human beings on planet Earth. And my message is about the way of life, or the way of life that the kind of how humanity, you are conducting your lives in your societies, which have a lot of big question marks. And those big question marks are directed to you by Mother Nature on the planet, by that Mother Nature, planet Earth. But you as living human beings, it's very, very complicated to understand the language of Mother Nature. Instead you say climate change, and instead you say global warming. But here is a little bit of an interpretation from me, because I was sent to do some divine interpretations of the scared verses of the Holy Quran. With that, I'll start from the day many of you in America and Europe, you are a people who associate yourself with the death of Jesus, a man who was crucified, who was tortured and crucified on the cross many, many centuries ago. And that man is called Jesus. But before the crucifixion of Jesus, this practice of crucifying men or pinning men on the cross was readily available in countries in Europe. It was always practiced until then it crossed over to the Middle East. When it crossed over to the Middle East, Jesus was a victim. A man called Jesus, or Prophet Jesus, was a victim of a caricature of drunken men and whatever, who used to use spears and swords and alcohol utensils as a way to intimidate others. So, with that, on the day Jesus was crucified, I did remind planet Earth, remind all humanity on this planet, that was an evil act of crucifying Jesus, and it was a very evil act, a terrorist act. With that, I'm going to elaborate what happened that day. When Jesus was crucified, I put my foot in what you Americans call the Death Valley that is found in America. My right foot, I press it in Death Valley. And I press my left foot on Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. And I put my right foot in Death Valley. With that, I pulled Jesus, and I said, I did predict your death 4,000 before it has happened. Because before Jesus was killed, or before he was sent on this planet as a prophet, I did tell the Chinese people in their tenets of wisdom that a man will be sent on this planet, and that man, he will be a prophet, but he will be mutilated by a drunken whatever of men who derive pleasure from the psychological and physical mutilation of others. With that, after 4,000 years, Jesus was born in what you call in Jerusalem or Misr or Egypt. But after a few years, then he was captured by the drunken men who had crossed over from Europe, or what you call Europe today, and had kind of taken over in the Middle East, in a place where you call Palestine today. That place, there used to be people who used to live in those places. They were very, very pure Muslims. They never used to drink alcohol, and they never used to shed blood. So when Jesus saw these men kind of brandishing machetes and swords and spears, he said, you cannot treat our people like that. So with that, he was victimized and he was, crucified. But we go back to the story which I wanted to tell you, that on the day Jesus was crucified, I did place my right foot in what you Americans call Death Valley. And I pressed my left foot on Mountain Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. With that, I did remind every living creature on this planet that the death of Jesus will not go we will have to retaliate one day. So long as men and women say, we are militants, we can shed blood. No. Over the years, I've sent messages to humanity warning them, do not manufacture these weapons on this planet. This is a planet you call your home. Do not litter weapons here and there, because weapons shed blood of innocent women and children. With that, today, I'm reminding those who associate themselves with Christianity. Christianity is not a religion. It's a belief from which Jesus was crucified on the cross. With it, as I told you, I did pull the soul of Jesus from the cross on that very day that he was killed. When I decided, I came closer to planet Earth, and I placed my right foot in what you men and women call Death Valley in America today. And I pressed my left foot on Mountain Everest. With that, I pulled the soul of Jesus from his body, which was being pinned on the cross. And then, with that, I pulled the sun in the sky. So the planet Earth went into what we call a black mode. There was no light on planet Earth. There was no anything that can provide light. So that was the reminder that men and women do not ever engage in evil acts that provoke the anger of Allah, whereby either Allah can easily take away the sun from the sky, or he can easily obliterate this planet, and none of you know what had happened. Because the very day you pulled the sun from the sky, or the soul of Jesus from the cross, ever since then, men and women went into a kind of, it was an abnormal, what we call an abnormal hibernation. Because it was an immediate afresh like that. Men lost conscience, and it took so many centuries men to wake up from that sudden flash of or disappearance of the sun from the sky. And with that, I'm here on planet Earth today, reminding men and women that women and children and men do not provoke the anger of Allah. Do not provoke the anger of Allah. Starting on I think this coming Sunday, I don't know what date it will be. I don't know what date is it. I'll be very clearly visible over Death Valley. I want to tell men and women, those who follow Christianity, that indeed, Christianity is not a belief. The reason why I'll be very visible over Death Valley in America is because to tell men and women that Christianity is not a religion, but a belief of bloodshed, which was responsible for the death of Jesus Christ. This is a message to all living human beings on planet Earth. Today, I think it's today is the 28th of June, and by Sunday I think it will be the 30th. On the 30th, starting from the evening of the 30th, even in the daytime, men and women who visit Death Valley, I'll be very, very, very clearly visible over that land, warning men and women that do not, as human beings, do not provoke the anger of Allah. My people, I'll be standing over what you Americans call Death Valley as a visible warning, proof and evidence that Christianity is not a religion, but a belief of bloodshed. With that, men and women over the years have been kind of provoking me. But I'll send a signal. I'll be very visible. What I'll say, I'll be very visible over Death Valley for 21 days as a reminder that men and women do not provoke the anger of Allah. Men and women on this planet Earth, you are all living Muslims. Do not provoke the anger of Allah or the wrath of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are all Muslims or living on planet Earth, whereby you are required to dispense peace and harmony to one another, not to shed blood. As I said, from the 30th of this month, on Sunday, I'll stand over Death Valley for 21 days, day and night, as a reminder that the day Jesus was killed, I did stand in that valley. I put my right foot in that valley, and then I placed my left foot over Mountain Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. And then I pulled the soul of Jesus from his body when he was on the cross. With that, I pulled the sun in the sky from the sky, and a sudden dark whatever covered planet Earth, and everything went dark for many centuries. Men at that time, they lost consciousness. When they lost consciousness, they went into a sudden and whatever hibernation. And with that, it took a very, very long time. Even some of those people are still in that state of what happened that day. However, I say to you, human beings, you are all living Muslims on planet Earth. And with that, do not shed blood of one another, and do not provoke the anger of Allah, and do not amass and manufacture weapons of any kind. Do not manufacture or amass weapons of any kind. And do not think that you are witches and whatever. You know, there's a joke of when the people are drunk, they are intoxicated. They think things like that. My people, be reminded that this is me standing over Death Valley next year, starting on Sunday, for 21 days, is just a warning. It's just a warning for men and women to see with their own eyes. Whatever you see, I'm telling you that Christianity is not a religion. It's a belief which was conjectured to shed blood the same way Jesus' blood was spilled. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.